Michael Flynn. I wanted to talk about this last night, but we ran out of time. The Senate Intelligence Committee has announced 2 subpoenas against former National Security Advisor Michael Flynn. This is according to ABC News. They're seeking to have him to turn over documents related to his contact with the Russians. Yesterday, he pleaded the Fifth and said that he would not himself testify before these committees. But he's trying to extend, he and his lawyers are trying to extend this immunity, this not immunity, but this pleading of the Fifth. They're trying to extend it to the documentation. And in many ways, this perhaps is going to lead to him being held in contempt. Mark Warner, the Democratic co-chair of the committee, said, while we disagree with General Flynn's interpretation of taking the Fifth, it's even more clear that a business does not have the right to take a Fifth if it's a corporation. One subpoena has been served. One is in the process of being served. He went on to say that we would like to hear from General Flynn. We'd like to see his documents. We'd like to tell him, for him to tell his story, because he publicly said, I've got a story to tell. And so there are 2 subpoenas that are being directed towards Michael Flynn, towards his businesses. They're trying to see any ties that he actually has with Russia. They're trying to carry out this investigation. And by him resisting, not so much resisting the testimony, but in this case, resisting turning over any of this information, Michael Flynn actually stands a chance of being held in contempt of Congress. Now, this is not a It depends on what type of penalty they carry with this. With the criminal offense that's called the contempt of Congress, there's a penalty of no less than 1 month to 12 months in jail, and then $100 at the low end and $1,000 at the high end. So the financial penalty is nothing, but he could face a minimum of 30 days in jail. And they have the ability to hold him in contempt multiple times. And so it could become a recurring process where he will be held in contempt of Congress time and time and again, because he does not want to turn over these documents. Again, this is not whether or not he's going to come and testify, but whether or not he has the authority or the legal authority to use pleading of the Fifth to absolve him from having to turn over his documentation is something that has to be resolved. And once it's resolved, they would determine whether or not he will be held in contempt.